The markets in China have been extremely volatile, and there's concern about a broader downturn. You know, what are you most optimistic about, and what gives you the most cause for concern?
Well, I am somewhat concerned about the frothiness of the markets. I'd say not just in China, but everywhere. That we've had this. I don't think if there's a bubble today. I don't think the bubble is centered on technology, neither in China nor in the U.S. I think bubbles are psychosocial phenomena. We got the public. You have to get the public involved in a crazy way. In the 90s, in 1999 we had 300 tech IPOs in the U.S. In 2015, there may be 15 or 20 tech IPOs, depending on how you count them. So the public has not been involved in the tech boom this time around. A little bit more in China, not at all in the U.S. So I think there's no bubble centered on technology. If there's a bubble, it's probably at this point centered on the 0% interest rates, the quantitative easing, the money printing. And that's a very strange one, because that's one that permeates everything. So that, startup tech stocks may be overvalued, but so are public equities, so are houses, so are government bonds, because that sort of touches everything. And in some ways, I've actually argued that in some ways Silicon Valley is quite far from it, because if the bubble is in cash, the things that are very far from cash, say illiquid startup investments, may be actually a place to hide.
On that note, you've predicted a broader sort of economic collapse, or that the economy will break after this year, and that whoever is elected president will be a one-term president. Do you still believe that?
Well, you don't want to be too dramatic and too precise in making predictions. That's always dangerous to do. But it's at least a good excuse for trying not to get too involved or supporting any of the candidates.
Fellows program, you're 5 years in. 80 fellows or so have raised $140 million in venture capital. You're giving the commencement speech at Hamilton College this year. What are you going to say to those graduates? How have your views on education evolved through this process?
Well, I have to be careful. I can't say. I have to be careful what I say there.
I don't want you to give the speech away, but
no. I think. Look, I've never said that there's a one-size-fits-all approach, people have mischaracterized my view is that everyone should drop out of college, everyone should start a company. I don't think everybody should be starting companies. Just given this power law thing, I think a lot of companies don't work. We need more people to start good companies. But I think also the sort of super tract dynamics have gotten us to a very bad place where education has become a substitute for thinking about the future. And the K through 12 system is geared towards college, and the problem is life doesn't end in college. Hopefully you live for a long time after that and do many things after college, and there's a strange way where we live in a society where there's a lot of anxiety about the future, and we've put more and more money into education for the last 35 years as a way of dealing with this anxiety, where if you get into the right college, you'll be saved. If you don't, you're in trouble. And I've sort of described the college, the sort of dramatic version I've said is, colleges, they're as corrupt as the Catholic Church was 500 years ago. They're sort of charging people more and more. It's the system of indulgences. You have this priestly or professorial class that doesn't do very much work, and then you basically tell people that if you get a diploma, you're saved. Otherwise you go to hell. You go to Yale or you go to jail. That's sort of and what I think we need to push back on this idea that the only way you get saved is, Catholic Church 500 years ago or today, the only way to get saved is by getting a diploma from college. And I hope that in the future there will be many different kinds of productive things for people to do. My goal with the Thiel Fellowship was not to start a new church, the startup church or something like that. It's not to have this alternate one-size-fits-all thing, but I think the future system will be one that's much more heterogeneous, and where there will be many more ways for people to be successful.
Maybe your flying cars will save us all.
Again, I think it would be good to have flying. We have our tagline on our website. They promised us flying cars, and all we got was 140 characters. Not against Twitter, But look, it would be good to have flying cars. It would be good to have many other things. But there's no, the claim is not that if we have flying cars, that's going to save us all. We need to be doing more in many dimensions, including, repairing the entire financial system from ground up.
Peter Thiel, everybody, thank you so much.